collection that have continued to this point. And even after this video, they will continue because it's part of who I am now. I understand ESP, and I understand spirit communication and channeling. And you need to understand it too. It's nothing to be afraid of. It's a normal part of who you are. When you are born, when you are conceived, and we are cradled within the womb of who carries you, your instincts are guiding you. And those instincts stay with you. It's only the logic of man and living life that takes them away. To go back into the womb, and to go back into the heartbeat of living inside of another human being, and then being born into this earth. The suckling of a baby is a natural instinct. Natural instincts, gut feelings, whatever you want to call them, and psychic ability are all the same. I feel very honored that I have had these experiences, and I wouldn't trade them for anything. One of the predictions that I was told was that who is the alien? Man here on Earth, as it progresses and moves forward into space age, will also become the UFO flying the universe. And it's who came first, Earth or the alien? And how do we get here on Earth? There are so many stories, and so many people believe so many different things. I can tell you this about the future. And whether it has to do with the past, I don't know. I don't have all the answers. But in our future, one of the predictions I am aware of is that we will transport people to other planets. And it will be after I'm gone. But this is going to happen. If the Earth continues to survive beyond war, and it has for many, many years, and it will probably continue to do so. And maybe not all of us will survive, but there will be survivors that will continue on through war and presidencies and governments. But as we progress into our more space age, and we will transport prisoners to another planet. And when I say another planet, I believe this to be another planet that already exists. However, I am also aware of a man-made planet. A man-made planet will be a place that we send people where they are so dysfunctional as we think here on this planet, that they will be imprisoned in a different fashion than what we prison people here today. Today we have them in prisons as we know them in the year of 2004. And these will be much different because they will live a life of a different way, and they will be monitored from Earth or from spaceships that are around the planet that they exist on. This is in the future. And it's really not a bad idea at all. It just has to be explored further. There will be people transported to other planets to start new life. This is going to happen further down the road. I wish I was going to be there, actually. I would like to live in that time frame. It's going to be a place of peace. As far as planet Earth, I am not sure if planet Earth will be the place of peace or the other planet will. I am 100% sure of a prison that will exist on another planetary system or out there man-made. As we look forward to our space age programs, we also have to look at government and presidencies. And that takes me back for just a moment to presidents. And I'm not a political person in the sense of psychic and giving those kind of things. I'm very medical and I'm very scientific in what I see. I am aware, though, however, when it came to the presidency of Bush, I remember my children, I have 3, and I remember them being at the house at the time when they were discussing president candidates and what have you. And I said, I'm just concerned about President Bush at this point going into office. I said, somehow or other, I can't seem to make up my mind what's going to happen. I I'm not sure he will be elected for president. And there's controversy around it. And I said, and if he is, there's going to be war. We did not have war at the time. I pointed my finger at my son, and I said, I'm telling you, there's going to be a war. That is my only reason for not wanting him to go into the presidency. I said, I know it. I feel it. And it scares me. End of conversation. Was I giving a prediction? At that point, I was, but I didn't realize just how true that was. But as we move past that, every president that's ever been in has had to deal with some kind of conflict. And we're like the Hatfields and McCoys, because whoever we put in charge of our country, we do pick apart. So whoever is there can never do anything right, because we are argumentative people. And that's one of the conflicts that we have on earth, and that's why we don't have peace. In order to have peace, we have to harmonize. And harmonize is a word we don't have. But if you're listening to this, perhaps you are a person who harmonizes, or you understand the direction that we need to be going in. I can't fix that. Not one of us can fix it by ourselves. It's going to take everybody working together, and we have a long ways to go. But having another planet, another planetary system, where people who are warlike or fighters, where they can also live and be at peace, is not a bad idea, and it's going to happen later down the road. There's another story I would like to share with you that was given to me, because everything I'm giving you right now is what I was told through my dream state or in a meditational state. I also saw the rings of Saturn, and it seemed like there was something wrong. I'm not sure what that was. It seemed like a beautiful place, and at the same time, something was changing on the planet. And that's all I have to say about that. But I also am aware of a spaceship, of our people traveling, our scientists traveling. Someone is going to go so far out into space that as they, and I will use my hands to describe it, as the spaceship is traveling through our universe, our galaxy, think of Christopher Columbus sailing off the edge of the ocean. They're going to go right to an end that we don't think is there, but it will be an end to the universe as we know it, how we see it at this point. But it will broaden our horizons, because when it hits the end, there's going to be like a line, and the spaceship will go through it. And when it goes through it, it will enter into a place of pure light. It'll be a pure light. Nothing that we have experienced before. Inside of this light, there will be a place, it's going to be just peaceful. I saw this in the dream. I've seen it in meditation, and I know it exists. Perhaps our scientists know it exists. I don't know that. I know it exists. And I know we will explore it at some point in time, again further down the road. I would like to share also with you about the universe, about a comet. It was shown to me in a dream, and it was a very, very vivid dream. Several years ago, it hasn't been that long ago, maybe 3 years ago. I've had reoccurring dreams of it since, small little flashes, of being out in the universe, standing in the universe. In dreams, you can do pretty much whatever. So I was floating, so to speak, in the universe, standing there. And there was a being, I refer to Gabe, I believe that's what it is, behind me. It extended out largely around me, like what you would think of a space alien of being if they were all white light. It was shaped like me, but it was bigger than me. If I extend my arm out, its arm extended out to this point. It was in control of what was happening to me at the time. My arms lifted up, my hand pointed and turned, and one finger was pointing, only it was another finger extended out of white light beyond me, and it pointed to a comet traveling through the universe, through our skies. It had a very long tail on it, He pointed to it, and then he moved his hand in almost a little bit of a curve and pointed to Earth, and then moved it back. And he just kept doing this. And he pointed back and forth. In the dream, I knew, or when I woke up, I felt that this planet, Earth, could be in danger from this comet, and that our scientists need to do something to maybe detour it. Well, we know that there is a comet that could be heading in our direction. Do I think it's going to be a direct impact? I don't think so, because the visions and other stories that I have been told indicate that our planet is going to be here beyond that. And if that comet is headed towards our planet, it could come very close to our planet, though, and cause some chaos and some changes. I do think that is something that we should be prepared for. In one of the visions, I was shown, I'm going to call it missiles, but I'm not sure if it was missiles. I just know it was red. It looked like if the stars were shooting out of the sky. If you took stars and they were just shooting towards you, and they were white lights, but they were red as well, and there was so many of them coming from the sky. In that vision, I looked around and I saw people running, and they were scared. And there was a child sitting on the ground crying. And in the dream, I extended my hand to the child and lifted it up, and I said, "Come with me." And I took the child, and we walked up this hill as people were very, very frightened. I felt strongly in this dream that the presidency at that time, I do believe it will be a Democratic House at the time, I do not know which one it will be, had to make a decision whether or not to tell the people of a disaster that may occur. And they decided to do so. They alerted the people and told them, because there was nowhere to run and hide on this particular part of the planet. And so these people were running and hiding, and they were panicking. But in the presidency mind of the government and the people that made the decision, it was like, it's only fair we tell them. And the decision was based on fairness. And an alert was made. I walked up the hill to meet what this was coming. I'm not sure if it was from a comet, and I'm not sure if it was from war itself. I only know I saw it in my dream and had that experience and received that information. Peace is important. We have to find it if at all possible. And if there is a war, and if something like that happens, there will be survivors. And life will go on. And we will continue to explore space. And we will survive a comet coming to Earth. We may have devastation happen. We will have things happen. But there will be those who will survive and will go on. One of the messages I received was, you were born in the time of man. You must adapt the best you can. Peace is found within. And until man finds peace within, he cannot find peace in war. And all the predictions and all of the experiences for over the 20 years, I ought to tell you that one of them that I've absolutely had so much fun with is the tarot cards. Now that in itself was a psychic experience. I had a dream, goes back to my dreams, those sweet dreams. I had a dream that I was dying, and that in the dream I did die, and I was looking back over my path. And in the path, I was changing my clothes. Everything went to no nail polish, very natural, and what have you. And I was suspended up above my body. And when I was suspended up above my body, the voice, the light was with me and told me I had a wonderful new direction. So here again, we're going through rebirth, 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 which means you're starting something new, or so I have found in my life. I very simply felt compelled to walk through the mall. I didn't know. I was by myself, and I thought, I'm looking for something, but I don't know what I'm looking for. And the thought came to mind, don't worry about it, you're going to find it. As I walked down the store mall, and it was actually at a mall out in the Duncanville area, I believe it was at the time, I turned in a store that no longer exists. But anyway, they sold a lot of novelty things, and I went in. I simply walked right straight to the back, and there was a box sitting in a sale marked down, and I picked it up, and it said tarot cards on it. I had not thought about tarot cards, didn't know anything about them at the time. And I looked at the box, and I said, this is what I'm supposed to have. I bought the box, and I took it home, and that was the beginning of me becoming a teacher of the tarot cards for over 20 years. And it's a love and a passion I've had so much fun with. Now, the tarot cards go way back. There's a history behind the tarot cards, and I would highly recommend that you go to my website, myfavoritepsychic.com, and you can explore tarot cards and your metaphysical life right there. And I'll be there to help you and guide you in any way that you need. I would like to touch base on the spiritual cards. In every deck of cards, there's 22 major arcana. Your 22 major arcana cards are spiritual. And there's usually a meditation that goes with them. So when you think of the tarot cards, we know so many people think of them as a negative thing. It's a very spiritual thing. And it can certainly open doorways for you and help you to touch the spiritual part of yourself, or to connect with God as you know it to be. And you heard me, God as you know it to be, whatever that is, whatever part of you is at peace and believes in something that's good and wholesome. These tarot cards can help you with that. Each step of a spiritual step, when you start out with your tarot, going from the Fool all the way down to the World, or by whatever they may be called in your deck of cards, there are steps, and there's steps in the spiritual life. Well, I taught classes at Fun Ed in Dallas for 14 years. I taught past life regression, self-hypnosis, auras, psychometry, and the tarot cards. My tarot cards classes were always filled. And they're fun and they're informative. And I would highly recommend that if you're just at your beginning, if you haven't had a psychic experience at all, or at least one that you can identify because you're having them, pick up a deck of tarot cards and just sit down with them and look at them and see about the first thought that comes into your mind. You don't have to read about it. You don't have to study. Simply sit down and go with the thought that comes into your mind. When that experience happened to me, that is exactly how I learned to read the cards. And one psychic experience after another began to happen. I slept with my cards. I meditated on my cards, on my spiritual cards. And from that experience, I would have dreams also that would tell me what was going to happen. From that experience on the meditation of the spiritual major arcana, I also went to psychic fairs. I had numerous encounters with other psychics and with people, and one door opened to another to another. How did I go to work for Fun Ed? How did I wind up being asked to do a lecture here or there? People would seek me out. The time that I had a large article that was put in the paper, and that was back in the 80s, very simply, I put a very small ad in a paper that said I was going to do house parties, and the right person saw it and blew it up into a 2-page article, and I received all kinds of coverage, which put me in a spotlight. These kind of experiences have been normal in my life. They're my psychic life. I'm a psychic. I'm a professional psychic, but I'm a spiritual psychic. And I'm someone who believes in love and peace and butterflies, because they do exist in some places, even if it's just in your mind. And it all starts in your mind. Remember, creative visualization, the power of the spoken word, and how you see things help to create what's going to be. If we can all believe that things are going to be good, perhaps we can create them that way. I've shared some information with you today about Love Gabe, aliens, the UFOs, world peace, in the information that I have received from somewhere beyond. And I'm going to close right now with just simply saying, the moon is a gentle candle for Earth. Love, Gabe. I'll see you soon, next video.